Hey everybody, Orpheolus here. Welcome back from Pokemon Sword and Shield. Last time, we finished up the Isle of Armor and that fun stuff, and this time, well, we're going to be exploring the wild area some more. The first thing to note I should mention is Ben Watts. I got a little bored. The reason why I got really bored is because it's been actually 2 weeks since I last recorded because I've been so overwhelmed with work and I've been doing some other things. Oh, well, I can go ahead and just upgrade to the max spike now. Just to go faster. Yeah, they all get more expensive as you go on. Oh, that's it? Oh. I guess we're at max speed now. I thought there was a lot more upgrades that we could do, but I guess not. So yes, there's not really too much now. So this time we're exploring more of the wild area. The first thing to note though is that now that we are significantly leveled up, we can now actually explore Watchtower Ruins. And view some new Pokemon. Oh, hail the mighty Grimoire! Even though you were just kind of lucky chance, I guess. So one thing I should mention though also is that I, in my stupor of blandness, I may or may not have gotten a little bored. First thing of boredom, Gauss is now level 51. Yeah. And to give a perspective of the Pokédex, we are now up to 318 for the regular and 188 for the Isle of Armor. Then again, also transferred over a lot of trade exclusive Pokemon there too, so yeah. Okay, so a couple items here and there. We've already explored Watchtower Ruins, but now is the time you can actually go through and encounter these Pokemon and catch them for your decks, including some Drifblim, Duskull, and Gastly's here too. I think Golurk might be too. I guess Golett. And also you're able to, you're a lot higher level, so some of the wild mons you'll be able to actually capture on your own too. That's all nice and dandy. No idea what was up with the random accent. Yeah, so I'm heading along this back wall here just to see what the other Watch Trader has. I'll be going over all the bios once again at the end of the episode, okay? I actually have Shadow Ball. Do I have any Shadow Balls? No, I don't. Yeah, Shadow Ball is a really good tier that I'm actually going to teach to, yeah, I am going to go ahead and teach to, Argeist, since Argeist has been kind of falling behind. Oh, wow, Rosalina can also learn it, too. Yeah, it feels weird because we haven't really seen many of these Pokemon in a long time. Hooray for TRs! I'm actually going to pick up one more, but teach it to, Rosalina later. And also there's Surf, which is also a very good TR. So yeah, so you can go around and catching a few more of the, wild mons, and you're pretty much higher level now. Which is all fine and dandy. So enough fapping about. You can go on ahead and explore Giant Seed over there, but the Pokemon over there are like in the mid, I think, upper 30s, so we can't catch them quite yet. Everything under 35, it's free game. So, at long last, we're finally able to head across this bridge, even though we've already been across this bridge before. Huzzah! Yeah, so these Pokemon here, yeah, they're going to be a little bit bulky, including Snorlax there. Snorlax is a little bit of a tricky capture. And since I think this is normal weather, we can find Munchlax here too for your team. So yeah, so we've already explored a little bit over in this area. Like, roughly right in here is like a, Firestone. Heading up over this way was a TR for Retaliate, I do believe. Or, no, Facade there. And then the Water Stone is along that side there, so yeah. Now properly exploring this place, there's a few Sigillet that are a little high leveled, and a lone Whalmer for some stupid reason. Yeah, so you can go ahead and catch him if you want. Yeah, throat's getting a little dry. And yeah, there are some other strong Pokemon too, like Conkeldurr, which is normally a trade evolution. You can go ahead and catch one if you want. Probably won't be until like 60 or so, so that's endgame. So yeah, there's not really too much here. But now, we are heading on into the beginning of the second arc. Welcome to the Bridge Field. I like the bridge field. It's a snowy area and it's not really too long. First thing to note though is that Linoons, they are pretty RNG in their movements. So now heading on to the wild area number 2. Prepare to bike pretty fast because there are some annoying Pokemon here known as Bloody Sneasel. Sneasels, they are very annoying to say the least. So yeah, just kind of retreading old ground here since, yeah, we've already explored much of this. Like, back here was a Water Stone and a free revive. So yeah, nothing really too much out this way. Again, we've kind of already explored a little bit of this area, but over there lies the next area, which we'll get to in the next episode. But before we go on, there's quite a few inventory things to note, though, before we head out that way. Can I just say, I love the music of the Wild Area Part 2. I love the Wild Area Part 2. I would go so far as to say that this is probably my favorite song in the entire game. Including all the DLCs, this is still my favorite area. The music is so fantastic. It has a really good bagpipe solo and everything like that. So yeah, that's really all there is here. So just trying to think through. There's new Pokemon here, and I guess getting on into the major thing that I kind of went over quickly is the Digging Duo. So here we got two trainers here that are both NPCs. This guy has no lack of stamina. His item pool is different than the other guy. So he has access to some less than fantastic items, but a good source of getting all the stones. Just curious what we can get here. Dawnstone, nice. Fossilized Dino. The fossils will have an important thing later on. Alright, then, so going over this guy, his item pool is a little bit limited. Some of the key items you can get here is all the evolution stones, including the Everstone, Damp Rock, Fossilized Bird and Dino for a sword, or Fossilized Dragonfish and shield. Heartstone, Heat Rock, Ice Stone, Icy Rock, Iron Ball, Lagging Tail, Light Clay, Metal Coat, Moonstone, Normal Gem, Rare Bone, Shiny Stone, Smooth Rock, Soft Sand, Stardust, Star Piece, Sticky Barb, Sunstone, Thunderstone, and Waterstone. And they like to go on for quite a while. 12 of them. This guy's a lot more interesting. And that's because his item pool is different. So he only digs up like one or two at a time. But there's some rare items you can get here. Some of them include bottle caps, which are very rare and very useful because these bottle caps still have a use in the post game. You're able to dig up comet shards, your stones, and also you'll be able to dig up all the fossils in different versions. Oh, nice bottle cap. So yeah, so in Pokemon Sword, he'll be able to also dig up the Drakenfish, though they are pretty rare. If you want to complete the dex, you're going to have to get 2 Drakes, 2 Fish, 2 Birds, and 2 Dinos. Primarily just the other two, since the Birds and Dinos are pretty common, and then vice versa too. And also extremely rarely, like I think a 0.001% of the time, you'll be able to dig up a gold bottle cap, which is extremely rare. Otherwise, mostly the same item pool as the other guy, just a lot more of the more rare stones, like the shiny stone and the fossils. But if you want to get yourself a full dex, you're going to have to farm this guy quite a bit. I honestly was not looking at what we got. I don't think we got anything new. Hey, Floatstone, nice. So yes, I've been doing a little bit of grinding off screen, including I did, where are my, things at? Actually, I think, yeah, it's in the, treasure department. So yeah, dig up some, bottle caps, and I got a gold bottle cap. The gold bottle cap I got from a, Trade, yeah, people on Wonder Trade, they love giving out hackmons with hack things. Normally I just release them. So yeah. And this episode's kind of like, the joint is like, oh, I'm already at the end of what I need to do. Anyways, free Ultra Ball there, respawning, which is very nice. Another trainer here. Alright, spend my watts. You don't really have anything I really want. And then right over here, we already went through this before, is another nursery. So you can leave 2 Pokemon here if you want for breeding. I don't think I need to breed any Pokemon. I already made a spreadsheet of what Pokemon I need, and I don't really need anything. So, give you a perspective of how much stuff I've been doing off screen. Quite a lot, including some strong Pokemon too here and there. Mostly because some of them evolve at high level and some others were trades, you know, that fun thing. Alright then, so with that all done, we're done with this area for the most part. Except there's a couple of interesting factoids here. One of them is that there's a new Pokemon Kufon that's pretty much only found here in certain weather, sadly not today. Here's a Frothorn that, if you want to take him on, you can. So this one's a lot of random stuff here as we transition to the next area, the Stony Wilderness. And then right over here is what I consider the gold zone of some berries. 2 Kelpie, 1 Pasho. I didn't mean to do shake one more. Yeah, I really want to quit now. So yeah, so a lot of the items here, they're going to be Pokemon. They're going to be items that resist some other things, including citrus berries, which are very nice items for competitive. Shake it some more. Tomato. 1 more shake. Alright, I think that'll be good. So I guess since we are kind of here at this tree, there's just one thing that I've been wanting to mention besides Pokemon AI is a little bit derpy. It's like, where'd you go? You got my tree. Whatever. There you are. Haha, you can't get me. So yeah, one thing I've been kind of holding off for a while, but I think now is a good time to mention it, is that there was a huge controversy with Pokemon Sword and Shield. And this tree is a good example of that, because of how low textured it is. Yeah, just the thing that's been kind of like controversial is like, Game Freak doesn't care, Game Freak's just taking the lazy way out. I've been kind of holding my thoughts on this, but I'm just going to kind of make my stance here is that I do agree that Game Freak has been getting kind of lazy. Not necessarily on the graphics front, because to be honest, I don't really care about graphics all too much. I play things on like normal because I care more about frame rate than I guess how pretty the game looks. I don't care about 4K graphics. I just want the game to run smoothly, okay? And I do have a decent computer and everything like that. But I will agree that Game Freak has been kind of falling short lately. And I'm not saying as like a graphical standpoint or anything. It's a game design standpoint. You kind of see me rag on and on throughout the game is that, yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts, a lot of linearity, and just lazy things. This was especially prevalent in Sun and Moon, where I feel like Game Freak was starting to get overly controlled by the higher ups. So yeah, and I will agree that it's been kind of falling short there, but even then, the game has some beautiful standpoints too. Route 4 is beautiful. I will give that much. They put a lot of detail in the background. Just the wild area is a focus point that everyone says that Pokemon Sword and Shield sucks. And that there's more to Sword and Shield than just this tree. There's a lot more. And that's just the thing though. Don't look at the tree. Look at the beautiful backdrop. You gotta render a lot more than just one thing. It's just been something that's been kind of bugging me for a while. So lastly, we're going to be here in the Stony Wilderness for the last part of the episode. And that, my friends, is right here. There is a little something that we're going to do. If you want a challenge, this Dusknoir is available for you right now. And if you want some free experience, take him. What level is he? Level 60. I want a challenge, okay? So yeah, so Dusknoir has pressure. This is not a super difficult fight. The thing, though, is that Dusknoir has a lot of status moves. It's bulky and will take a while to take down. Yeah, it's literally twice your level. But the thing, though, Curse. You can let it kill itself. You just need 2 curses, and that's all you need. As you can see, we've been taking a little bit of it's taken quite a bit of damage. It'll pretty much just take itself out because it's not too threatening of a Pokemon. Bring up Raichu, just because. Yeah, like half of its move pool is very limited. Future Sight, yeah. I think it only has like 1 attacking move total. Then use Thunder Wave. Thunderbolt, yeah. Like, Dusknoir is super slow. Like, the Pokemon that's half its level is able to do quite a bit. Critical hit. And Curse, yeah. Like, I didn't take really any damage from the fight. And it took itself out. Yay, we defeated something twice our level! And it gives a lot of experience, too. Now, that also might be because of the experience charm, too. But yeah, Dusknoir is not a hard fight. You can take him on for pretty much a free level up. And he respawns daily, too, so... Okay, Cat is really rambunctious today. So yeah, it's just a thing you can do. That's probably one of the easier super bosses, too. Because level 60, it's very high level, and you won't be able to catch that until endgame anyways. So just kind of exploring this area here. Big mushroom there. Because I want to save room for battles, because I kind of want to split this wild area too into 2 parts. Just curious if there's anything else here, really, because I want to save the remainder of the wild area for the next episode. Just so we don't get overly stormed. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything in Stony Wilderness. Yeah, it's just kind of like a one-off location that doesn't have much to it. I'm not really catching any Pokemon right now. I kind of want some free levels, and plus the level's going to really spike really soon too. Yeah, I'm just going through and I'm not seeing anything. Because that there is the Stony Wilderness, which is an area you don't really want to explore, but I'm stupid. Yeah, there's quite a few ninjas here, which do provide decent experience. Yeah, I think there's only like 1 Pokeball here, and that's... I don't even think it's a Pokeball. Yeah, right there's a free Comet Shard, so... Yeah, the Stony Wilderness is just a transition zone, as we explore more and more of the wild area. And plus, I want an area where I can conclude the episode off without getting harassed by 30 million Sneasel, because let's face it, Sneasel is annoying. So I guess with that all done, I know this episode was very short, but there's a lot more to the wild area, and we got a lot of bios at this time too. Oh boy. I know, kind of short episode, kind of disjointed, but then again, when have I ever been jointed? Next time, Pokemon Sword and Shield, we explore the remainder of the wild area and head on into Mudstoke. I will see you all then. And now for bios. Give me a drink. Alright, now is the time where I destroy my voice. So, yeah, we're like 20 minutes into the episode. In terms of recording, yeah, this will probably be like a 40-minute episode. So starting things up is Duskull. We're going to starting up with the Watchtower Ruins. Duskull is an okay Pokemon. It's a very well Ghost type Pokemon, sporting high defenses and low offenses and speed. It is super slow, so it'll need to take some hits. Thankfully, Ghost type has some neat tricks like Curse, Disable, and Willows to debilitate the foes. As a Pokemon, pure defense, hardly any offense, especially in Duskull and Dusclops. It takes a while to evolve at level 37, so it'll be quite a bit before it becomes even decent. And you get a very beefy Dusclops, which has 130 in the defense stats. It'll take quite a bit of beating too. So one downside is that in order to get Dusclops, it is a trait evolution. However though, thanks to the Eviolite existing, you don't need Dusknoir. Dusclops is able to handle itself on its own, and even in competitive, Dusclops is higher tier than Dusknoir, which is a final evolution. Dusknoir gets a buff to its offensive stats, which lets it deal a little bit more of a beating, but it's not really fantastic for its offensive stats. As for some move pool, it does get some decent ones, like the Quakes, Elemental Punches, Rock Slide, Brick Break, and yeah, it's a pretty nice Pokemon. If you want to use Dusknoir without the capable of trading, you'll have to wait until level 60. So yeah, and plus it's a terrible catch too, because Yeah, it likes to kill itself. Oh well. The Legacy Grimoire does live on, though. Next up is Golett. I always thought Golett as a weird Pokemon. It has decent typing of Ground Ghost, which grants a fair amount of weaknesses, but it makes up for it with its abilities. Iron Fist is the better unless you want to do fling junk at your foes. As a Pokemon, it's a standard physical-based Pokemon with fair defenses, no speed. It has to take some damage first. Typical Unova being taking a while to evolve at level 43, so yeah. Golurk is a pretty decent Pokemon, good defenses and good attack stat, but slow as heck. Not as slow as Mudsail, but still pretty slow. Main difference is that Golurk is interesting with the move pool. Elemental Punches, Earthquake, Shadow Punch, or Force. Hammer Arm, combine these with Iron Fist, and you got a very potent Pokemon. Again, the downside is that it takes forever to evolve, and it is pretty slow, but with patience, you will be rewarded. Just why must Unova evolve so darn late? Next up is Gastly. Gastly is another Ghost-type Pokemon that's pretty much in every single generation. Gastly in the light is super offense, with high special attack and speed to sweep very fast, but on the downside, hardly any defense, so pretty much Alakazam. Evolve is much easier than the other Ghost-type Pokemon here at level 25, and a non-item trait, which does kind of suck. Gengar is a very scary Ghost-type Pokemon. While it does have bad defense, 1675, it more than makes up for it with a 130 special attack and 110 speed. It is super scary and a very potent Pokemon too. And its move pool is actually really good. Level up learns Shadow Ball, TR Weiss, Energy Ball, Focus Blast, Thunderbolt, just to name a few. It can also learn some fairy moves too, and Choice Scarf is very useful, and especially with that coming pretty soon too. You'll be able to do a lot of things. Like other tree evolutions, you can find it in the wild in the late game, but Haunter isn't really going to suit the Evolite too well like Dusclops or Dottler. And lastly, since it's kind of just stuck in here, back in the first area, I'm going to go over Pokemon you can find in Snowstorm and Sandstorm too right now. Snowstorms and Sandstorms spawn in the wild area after you arrive at Motostoke. And since Mime Jr. is a Snowstorm exclusive Pokemon, might as well go over it now since we're not going to be in the wild area again for a very long time. Mime Jr. is you'll be stuck with it for a while because it learns Mimic at level 32 for some dumb reason when you can get a Licky Licky level 6. Yes, weird balance changes there. So yeah, it's level 15, which is going to be very behind compared to where we are at this game. As it evolves into Mr. Mime, which is an okay Pokemon. Galarian Mr. Mime, it's a fast Pokemon. Yeah, it's fast. I guess it's semi-fast, not as fast as it used to be. It trades some of its special defense into more of a mixed attacking Pokemon. It's a jack of all trades, not really super defined. It evolves pretty late at level 42 into Mr. Mime, which isn't too different from old Mr. Mime. Loses special and loses some speed and puts it more into the into its attacks and HP. So yeah, it gains quite a bit of HP compared to the original Mr. Mime. Move-wise, Mr. Mime has access to loads of moves, Freeze Dry, Psychic, Teeter Dance, Terrains, and your Psychic fun stuff. And some offensive moves too here and there. It's a pretty nice Pokemon though. Issues that Mr. Mime Kanto is a better special Pokemon, has higher special defense, and not too different for the special attack. So yeah. Main difference though is that Cantonian Mr. Mime has terrible defenses and HP, while Mr. Mime is more balanced, jack of all trades, but Ice Psychic is not fantastic typing, so it'll take quite a bit of beating too. Overall, a decent Pokemon. Next up, starting up in the in Motostoke Riverbank, is Munchlax. Munchlax is the one of the slowest Pokemon in existence. 5 speed, that is it. The main thing though that goes for Munchlax, which makes Snorlax amazing, is that it has fantastic other stats. Very high HP, which is better than most other Pokemon. What else is there? Good special defense, and yeah, like level 100, it could have over 500 HP. Combine that with a Gigantamax, and it has a Pokemon with capabilities having over 1000 HP, which is super good. Its defensive stats are also very nice, and a good attack stat. It's a little tank. The downside though is that once again it has no speed, so it'll be going last. But Trick Room exists, so you can go first, and yeah. As for some move pool, it can learn Hammer Arm, Belly Drum, give it a Citrus Berry, and its hidden ability, or I guess its Gigantamax form, and watch the metagame break. Heavy Slam, Giga Impact, Earthquake is good at least for TRs. And there's a lot of moves you can learn, and with it being a tank, yeah, it'll be last in the it'll last yourself well for the long term, and can serve you pretty well. It won't go down easy, it's just begging for a Gigantamax. Next up is Skorupi. Skorupi we've already gone over in the Isle of Armor. However though, this guide is kind of also leaning towards those that don't want to do the DLC, so if you want to go down to Skorupi the root. It evolves pretty late at level 40, not terrible for this point in the game. The line is a physical-based line, doesn't really have 2 great stats that stand out like Snorlax, but it does have a nice 110 defense stat. And combine this with fantastic typing, it will be able to take some damage and not really have to worry too much about being one-shot. The real draw to Drapion is that once again it has fantastic typing too, only weak to ground. As for TRs, which is pretty much what we'll be relying on, Toxic Spikes, Acupressure, and for status for damage, X-Scissor, Night Slash, and Cross Poison, TR Wise, Rock Slide, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it'll take a while to evolve, but Drapion is pretty nice. If you want Drapion now, you can go ahead and venture to the Out of Armor. Next up is Carablast and Shelmet. It's a 2-in-1 Pokemon that we've already gone over before, so in order to get Carablast, you have to trade for Shelmet and vice versa. It's a stupid design choice, but if you want one, you're going to have to get the other, so we're going to do 2 battles at once. So starting things up with Carablast, which evolves into a Scavalier. A Scavalier is a tanky Pokemon. Not a tank like Snorlax's absurd HP and good special defense, but this Pokemon is very well rounded with base 105 defense and special defense stat. Combine this with a very good attack stat, is that it will hit very hard. The downside though is that speed is very slow, which is why Gyro Ball exists, except it can't learn Gyro Ball for some dumb reason. Meh. Outside of the moves, Excalibur gets some good moves such as Sword Stance and Iron Head and X-Scissor. Hard hitting setup. Can learn some other nice moves, but nothing too fantastic. Its abilities are alright, but Shell Armor is the better ability because it'll be crit immunity combined with 1 weakness, and you get yourself a very potent Pokemon. On the opposite side of the spectrum of a Scavalier is Acelgor. Acelgor is a special base Pokemon. It trades pretty much everything that Scavalier has and puts it into Acelgor. Not really fantastic other stats. The defenses are terrible, has decent special attack, but the main upside though is that it is super fast, so it'll be going first a lot. Moves like Toxic, Bug Buzz, Spikes, whatever you need to go first with. Its move pool's alright. Bug Buzz is great for Stab, Focus Blast, Energy Ball. That's really all it gets. It's a nice Pokemon, not fantastic. I would suggest Ninjask for your fast bug needs, because Ninjask can set up in a Baton Pass. So yeah, it's all around, Acelgor's an okay Pokemon. Next up is Mariani. Mariani is literally Wall. It's a very defensive water Pokemon. Its current form is a mixed in stats, and it gains its Wall nature at level 38 where Toxapex becomes a Wall. Super high defensive stats, it'll take those hits. HP is low on the downside, but it is a Wall. Baneful Bunker into Merciless is a recipe for destruction. Guaranteed crits with poisoning the foe. Access to like Venoshock, and yeah, it's very good. Other moves you can learn is the Recover for survivability, Toxic, Spikes and Screens, and yeah, it's all about that wall game. It's a slow, long game thing, but it might work out well. Don't expect it to sweep every foe you meet, though. Next up is Sneasel. Sneasel will find you down and hunt you down to the ends of the earth. It's annoying to avoid in snow, and it's lured in the second half of the wild area too, so yeah. Expect to go fast. It's a very fast Pokemon though, and you get Sneasel after you get the Bike or an RNG. It's a Thief class Pokemon, high speed, moderate attack, no defenses, and its typing is kind of terrible for defensively, but yeah. Its evolution gives it a little bit of a buff, a little more speed, more on the attack power to hit a lot harder. It has some minus special defense stats surprisingly, but its low defense and fair share weaknesses kind of compensates for it. As for moves, you can learn Ice Punch pretty late, and that's really all you get. And I guess Night Slash is the main go-to also. You can learn a few modest moves, Brick Break, X-Scissor, and Poison Jab. Its setup game is alright. It has the priority to use a Sword Stance and just hitting very hard. Don't expect it to last too long against Fighting-type Pokemon. Next up is Torquel. Torquel is a fun Fire-type Pokemon. Besides me being a turtle person, Torquel is a pretty alright Pokemon. Stat-wise, it is super slow, slower than most Pokemon, but to make up for it, it has very high defense. Combine this with Drought, which is an amazing ability for it. Summons the sun, and yeah, Fire types hit harder, Solar Beam has a 1-turn charge up, resists Water type moves a little bit better, and yeah, it's very good. You can learn some moves like Flamethrower and Heat Crash effectively, and all that fun stuff. Curse is also a pretty nice move to learn because it's going to be slow, so might as well just go more into the defenses. And if you wanted to go faster, you can give it a Rapid Spin, remove spikes, and lets you go faster. So another very good move. As for other moves, Earthquake or Earth Power, Stone Edge, Overheat, you can run Mix, which is very nice. again, it's a very good Pokemon. I actually really like Torquel, and the buff it got in Gen 7 made it a very potent Pokemon. Went from forgettable to pretty impressive. Next up is Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn is a physical powerhouse. That's your pretty standard rock-type Pokemon. Slow, low specials, high physicals. That is the name of Rhyhorn. It evolves pretty late into Rhydon, which is a pretty strong rock-type Pokemon with like 110 attack, 120 defense. It wouldn't seem like it needs to evolve, but it can evolve with a Protector into Rhyperior. And like other trait evolutions, it's only available in the Isle of Armor. So if you want to complete the Dex, you have to have a friend or go to the Isle of Armor. So yeah, it's a slow Pokemon. Its specials are terrible. So yeah, so hit it with Water type move and it's done for. It does have some good abilities too, like Solid Rock makes it a little bit bulkier to super effective moves, or Rockhead just to hit a lot harder. So yeah, it's pretty nice for longevity, but all around you don't really need Rhyperior because with the Eviolite, Rhydon becomes a physical powerhouse, and you have Body Press too to really make up for it too. It does learn quite a few moves like Sword Stance, Crunch, and all that fun stuff. It has a diverse move pool, and it's pretty alright, so you don't necessarily need Rhyperior. It's an added help too. It's an okay Pokemon. It's slow and evolves late though. Next up, there's a lot of new Pokemon here in the Bridge Field. So starting up in the Bridge Field, we got Cufant. Cufant is a new Pokemon inside this game. It's an okay Steel-type Pokemon. As a Pokemon, it's an alright Mighty Glacier, slow but powerful. 30 speed, and its final evolution is bad. But it backs up with 130 attack and 122 HP, and pretty nice defense stats too, if you know what I mean. Caparage is a strong Pokemon. Main issue though is that its defenses are kinda meh, and Excadrill exists and kind of outclasses it for a sweeper. So yeah, similar other stats, higher attack and meh defenses, but way faster. It's a little bit more of a defensive Pokemon for Caparage, and that's about it. Move-wise though, things are interesting. So yeah, so with the Ferrotrick you're making go first, it can learn quite a few moves. Iron Head, Heavy Slam, weighing in at 650 kilograms, it hurts a lot. Play Rough, high horsepower to Earthquake, and Superpower, all in its starting move pool. TR-wise, it can learn quite a few moves like Heat Crash, Stone Edge, Stealth Rocks, and Headbutt, and quite a few other moves too. It's an okay Pokemon, but because of Excadrill, Cufant just kind of gets shoved under the rug, and honestly, Cufant's one of the more forgettable Galar Pokemon. Speaking of forgotten Pokemon, we have Elgyem. Elgyem is an interesting psychic Pokemon. I wish its hidden ability were available, but meh. Elgyem and Beheeyem are slow psychic Pokemon that love Trick Room. They're a strong special attacking Pokemon with a pretty nice special attack stat and alright special defense too. And decent enough physicals, I guess, as it is. It can learn quite a few stats moves, your Splits, Calm Mind, Wonder Room, all that fun stuff, but its better moves are sadly very late in the game, so you'll need to use TMs and TRs to get by with Nasty Plot, Flash Cannon, Energy Ball, etc. for all its fun moves. It's very similar to Hatterene, but just kind of outclassed there. So yeah, it's just one of those forgotten Pokemon. In fact, its bio makes Pokemon... its Pokédex entries say that it makes people forget the encounter. Elgyem is an interesting psychic Pokemon. Next up is Togepi. Togepi is a line I love, but the main problem is that it's super rare 2% random spawn and normal and overclass only, so yeah. Evolves with Friendship and a Shiny Stone, and the line does diverge quite a bit. Togetic is a very bulky fairy flying type Pokemon. Not really much for the offenses, it's more of a defensive based Pokemon, but Togekiss is super fantastic. Serene Grace is a must-have for its ability. Combine with the likes of Air Slash to flinch lock foes, and the move pool is very nice. Aura Sphere, Extreme Speed, and not really much for its physical stats. Ancient Power to get nice buffs a lot more often, and Cleric moves for raids. It is a very good Pokemon to use. Stat-wise, it's a bulky Pokemon having good defensive stats, modest speed, and a very good special attack. It's a hard to take down Pokemon for sure, and good move pool too with Dazzling Gleam, Flamethrower, and Thunder Wave also to use. It's a very solid Pokemon, hindered by its rarity. I wish it wasn't so rare, but I love Togepi. Togetic's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time now. And yeah, I love Togekiss, and thanks to a certain Star with Fury. Next up is Cramorant. Every generation has a super gimmicky Pokemon. Galar has Cramorant. Water flying type Pokemon with mixed physical stats and good special defense, surprisingly, and modest speeds. Defense stat, though, is pitiful. The main gimmick with this Pokemon is the ability Gulping Missile, which after using Surf preferably, or Dive, it eats the Pokemon. If over 50% health, it becomes Gulping form, which hits 25% of the foe's maximum HP, and also lowers the physical's defense stat, so yeah. If it's under 50%, it'll become Gorging form, and the side effect will be Paralysis, which, So yeah. It could be better, but at least it's one less Pikachu in the world and it be ate by a Cramorant. It's a derby Pokemon for sure. Its move pool is decent, can go for both physical or special, Brave Bird, Hurricane, Superpower, all that fun stuff. It's a pretty decent Pokemon, not fantastic, but its ability is alright. Next up is Inkay. Inkay is a strange case. To get Malamar, you have to hold the switch upside down, and upon level up in such level 30. Which I cannot do because of HDMI cables, but thankfully you can get Malamar in the Olive Armor, so yeah. It has to be in handheld mode, so yeah, and it can be a little bit buggy. It's a pretty nice Psychic Dark type Pokemon with 2 weaknesses. Its stats are Jack of all trades, Master of none. Like, its stats are pretty terrible. Normally I'd say pass, but because the contrary is interesting. If you're hit by Intimidate, your attack stat will be buffed instead of debuffed. And also you can run Superpower, which will buff your attack and defense at 120 power. It will become very, very fun to use. Otherwise, nice to use Night Slash, Road Chop, etc. A lot of other moves. It doesn't have the best move pool, not the best stats, but one of the best abilities which makes it fun. Suction Cups is terrible to pass on that if it has Suction Cups. Next up is Frillish into Jellicent in Thunderstorms. One of the metagame gods, Jellicent is a special tank. 100 HP and 105 special defense. It takes special moves very well with an 85 special attack, which is alright. Its defense stats stinks though. Throughout the decade, Jellicent has been around. It has always stuck out in the higher tier just because of its status capability. Spring Stat, you can get as an egg move. You can Brave with, say, a Corsola or another Pokemon, Spring Sap. Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Water Spout, Shadow Ball. It's a very good tanky Pokemon to use. Giga Drain is also a good move to heal. It's a pretty fun Pokemon to use. Minus move pool, including Dazzling Beam and Sludge Wave. Good status moves. It's a really solid Pokemon to use. But sadly, though, it evolves kind of late, which is kind of a hindrance, but all around it's a decent Pokemon. Next up is Bronzor. Bronzor is an interesting Steel type Pokemon. In older generations, it has the ultimate mind game with 2 abilities that gave it one, which only had to have 1 weakness. With Levitate, it only had weakness to fire, and with Heatproof, it only had weakness to ground. However, though, with the changes in Gen 6, it now has to deal with Dark and Ghost types, so yeah. At least it'll make Diamond Pearl remakes easier. So yeah. It's a very defensive-based Pokemon. It's much similar to Claydol, relying on miscellaneous moves like Speed Swap and other status moves to cause trouble. Level 33, you get Bronzong, which is much better offensively. Slight buff in the defenses. It mostly gains some offensive stats to actually work with and do more than scratch damage. It does use some strong moves like Gyro Ball, Confused Ray, and strong TRs like Quake, Stone Edge, and such. So it's a pretty decent Pokemon. It evolves pretty late though, and as a Bronzor it kind of sucks, but later on it becomes a lot nicer. Next up is Cubchoo. Cubchoo and Beartic are alright Ice-type Pokemon. They are bulky Ice-type Pokemon, modest defenses and HP stat, but strong attacks at 130. It hits pretty hard. Main issue though is that it's very slow, like 50 speed is pretty meh. And Ice historically is a terrible defense typing. If you can get around the bad speed stat with use of like either Slush Rush, which is an Ice Speed Rush, or a Swift Swim, which gives it a speed buff and rain, it can actually go first and do quite a bit of damage too. It hits hard too with moves like Icicle Crash or Avalanche, Superpower, Shadow Claw, Sword Stance, and all that fun stuff. It's actually a pretty decent Pokemon all around. A lot better than the likes of Copperajah. Sadly though, Ice type is not a great defensive type. Next up is Mawile. In the snowstorms you can get Mawile, which is an okay Pokemon I guess. Yeah, I wish I had Mega Mawile because Mega Mawile is fantastic, one of the highest attack stats in general, but yeah, sadly though, it kind of passes prime because without the Megas, Mawile is just terrible. It has hardly any stats whatsoever. The only thing going for it is its ability Intimidate, and all around there's a lot better Pokemon with Intimidate, and stats are just terrible. It's just a pass just because you don't have its Mega Evolution anymore, which was fantastic, and now it's just back to its old Gen 3 self, which is kind of forgettable. It's only available in Sword, and Shield you'll have to wait until post-game in order to get its version exclusive. Next up is Miracus. For how derpy Miracus is, it also sucks. Better stats all around than say Mawile, but still pretty pitiful. 60 speed is meh, and yeah, its best stat is special attack with 106, which is eh. And all around Roserade just heavily outclasses Miracus. Main draw using Miracus is Water Absorb, which heals, which pretty much absorbs water type moves, but all around it's kind of passable. It does learn some moves like Cotton Spore, Synthesis, Acupressure, Cotton Guard, but when you want to go into the offenses, you realize that it only has like 2 attacking moves total, and it's kind of bleh. All around Miracus is a passable Pokemon, and just better off going with any other Pokemon. Next up is Rufflet for Pokemon Sword. Oh boy, Rufflet. Rufflet and Braviary just like America. Blind, stubborn, stupid, and vain at being patriotic naturalists, and everything else sucks and they're too oblivious to the fact the nations are laughing at American stupidity. Yeah, be like other smart nations and avoid Rufflet in American politics. Fast way to lose brain cells. Main issue though with Rufflet, besides being sword exclusive, is that one of the unfortunate Gen 5 Pokemon evolves stupidly late. Level 54 for flying Pokemon when you can get similar ones at a much lower level, yeah. 54 is pushing endgame levels, and just, you're better off going to the Isle of Armor and getting a Braviary there, but if you don't have access to the DLC, it's a hard pass. It's a semi-fast flying type Pokemon with strong physical attacking moves and good attack stat. Minus HP, but that level just makes it hard to recommend. For a standard bird Pokemon, it has access to quite a few moves like the Fog, Superpower, Brave Bird, Rock Tomb, Shadow Claw, and Zen Head, but it has pretty good move pool too. It's pretty similar to Staraptor, but all around, not really too worth it. The TLDR of Braviary. Oh Canada, our home and native land. And lastly is Volibee, who I'd say is probably the second worst Pokemon in the game, behind Pyukumuku. No, just no. No in every single word, every single being of the word, no. One of the worst Pokemon, and one of my least favorite Pokemon in general. Literally, the only use is Flatter and Defog. That is it. As a Pokemon, it's a very defensive Pokemon with high HP, defenses and special defense, and with weather immunity, and it can learn Toxic Substitute for walling capabilities, but flying isn't super great for being a wall. And its offensive typing, with a defensive based move, yeah, it's not gonna last too long. And that's not even getting to the worst part. The worst part is that evolves level 54 is just, why? 54 is a terrible level for evolving in general. Might give that to a terrible Pokemon. Its hidden ability is terrible. Like, why remove the one thing that it has going for it just to make it faster? It makes little to no sense whatsoever. And yeah, you can get like bloody Metagross or some other pseudo-ubers before you can get Volibee, and its stats are just terrible. Yeah, it might be decent for a metagaming and such, for competitive, but for single player, it's one of the worst Pokemon before. I tried to use one before of a Mandibuzz. I literally passed it up for a male combi. Because at least male combis you can use a little bit better. I guess I used a Vespiquen, but yeah, it's just a terrible Pokemon. Pass it up. Literally use any other Pokemon. I'm sorry, Shield, but you get terrible Pokemon. Holy crap, my voice is dead. Yeah, we doubled the length of the episode because my rambling. Next time, rest of Wild Area. I'll see you all then.